All right, Dano. As we're winding down football season, and I was just home for like 6 days straight for Christmas break, you're gonna start needing other things to watch, especially if you're not an NBA guy. I cannot recommend enough a show on Netflix called The Beast in Me. Have you heard this? The Beast in Me, Claire Danes.
I I feel like I've heard it.
I, I don't often say like I'd bet my life on you enjoying the show. It is brilliant, like utterly brilliant. It's a mini series, like 8 episodes, no
Oh wait,
season
is it
two.
the writer
Yes,
who
she's
okay,
so
I've seen the
Claire
preview.
Danes.
I've been wanting to watch
Claire
it.
Danes is a writer, and she moves it like her next door neighbor moves in as like this billionaire who's like accused of killing his wife. It is one of the best things when you watch something on television. We were just talking about you were watching Pluribus with Stranger Things. When you watch something, you're like, oh, this is generationally good. Like that's how I felt watching this. And I
Wow,
have
okay.
I have my wife and I binged it over 2 days. And every single person I have seen, I have been like, you need to watch the show. Like I'm like a psycho person for the show
You
now.
felt compelled.
Where I'm
Yeah.
like, you have so I was like, I need to let our audience know when you are it is Tuesday night when you're done watching us, Wednesday night when there's no NFL football on, start it. It will you won't be able to put it down. It's so good. The Beast in Me, Claire Danes and Matthew Reese. Matthew Reese, one of the best performances on television I've seen in a long, long time. So good. So good.
Awesome. Yeah, no, I can't wait to watch that. And then once the viewers and listeners are done watching that, they should go watch Black Rabbit on Netflix as well.
Did you like that?
I loved it.
We
I loved
stopped.
it.
We stopped like halfway through.
Oh, really?
I
Oh man,
did.
I loved it.
I
Oh,
love Jason Bateman and Jude Law. It just like it didn't. I couldn't finish
felt
it.
like it
Maybe I'll
wasn't going
finish it.
anywhere.
Yeah, we gave up on it. But their
Oh
performances
man.
are great.
Yeah.
They're great.
I love Jude Law in that in particular. I
Did,
thought he
did you
was
see
so good.
Death by Lightning?
Mm-mm.
Oh, it's about President Benjamin Harrison.
Oh, okay.
And
All
it's
right.
Michael Fassbender who plays him. It came out on Netflix. Not Michael Fassbender. Michael Shannon came out on Netflix like 2 months ago. That's another like it's like 4 episodes. Really, really good. Really,
Right
really good.
on.
Death
All
by
right.
Lightning. Yeah,
We've got some material
we do.
here now for folks to some homework
Yeah.
on the table. I love it. But of course, we've got a lot of football to talk here on the show. A lot happened week 17. We now have much more clear playoff picture and some key matchups to look for in week 18. So we are looking ahead here in week 18 and the playoff predictions. So strap in. We've got a good one here. All right. So in the NFC, we have 6 teams that have already clinched the playoffs, and we have 6 teams in the AFC that have already clinched the playoffs as well. So, uh, a couple divisions already clinched as well. Your Chicago Bears have clinched the NFC North, thanks in part to the Baltimore Ravens defeating the Green Bay Packers and Malik Willis. So, Mark, this is the uncharted territory. I mean, Caleb Williams has more NFC North division titles than Mr. Jordan Love.
No way that's true. No way that's true. It's Jordan
It
Love.
can't be.
He's
We're talking
played-
about the Jordan Love.
He's paid $55 million a year. That's Green Bay Packers. So you sure that stat is right? That can't be true.
I'm positive.
It
I'm
can't be
positive.
true.
I know it is.
I also heard a crazy rumor, and there's no way this is true, that the longest drought for an NFC title in the NFC North title in the NFC North is now the Green Bay Packers. Is that true? That
Dude,
can't be.
honestly, that's wow. I didn't realize that, but
There's no way.
That's pretty great.
Did you see Mike Florio's article? I freaking love Mike Florio. Pro Football Talk is like how it came out like 2 days ago, and it was like if the 7th seed if they hadn't expanded the playoffs to the 7th seed, the Green Bay Packers would be on a 5-year playoff drought. the Packers have been the 7th seed for 3 straight years now, that Jordan Love and Matt LaFleur have only made it in together as the 7th seed. I'm like, that is so funny because first of the Packers last year, they sat people, I think, in week 18, and they lost that game. They were an 11-win team. That could have been a 12-win team. They've been a good team. They made an NFC title game 2 years ago, right? Jordan Love's first year as a starter. So it's such a ridiculous thing to say, but it is factually true. I don't know why he decided to just take a shot at Matt LaFleur. It's like Mike Florio just doing my dirty work for me. We can start with the Bears if you really want. Listen, quickly just talking about the San Francisco game. My wife was not watching the game with me. She was off doing her own thing on Sunday night, and I was in the living room watching the game. And she said to me, kind of joking before the game started, I'll check in with you once every little while, see how it's going. And every time she checked in, she's like, "What's the score?" I was like, "Oh, 7-7. Oh, okay, close game. What's the score? 14-14. Oh, wow. What's the score? 21-21. And she finally, when it was 28-28, she's like, "Are you lying to me? What is going? This is insane how close this game is." Dan, I had the feeling when Caleb was driving to win that game, very in my gut, you can't win all of these games, right? I just kept saying to myself, I was like, you just can't win them all. They've won them all, these fourth quarter comebacks, right?
Yeah.
I was like, you can't, it can't happen. And then I just kept saying to myself, I truly though believed, I have faith he can do it though. It was such a weird feeling as a Bears fan to be in that moment. And when they lost, my wife and stepson, whatever was watching at the time, they came in for the, and mainly because I was screaming and yelling like a madman. And I remember my wife looking at me, "Are you mad? Are you sad?" I'm like, "No, I'm disappointed. I really wanted a chance of the 1 seed. Having the 1 seed is such an advantage in this expanded playoffs where only one team gets a bye in each conference. And then it's 2 home games and you're in the Super Bowl. Such an advantage. Obviously, really wanted to have a chance of that. But I looked at ours I can't, I'm not even upset. I'm not angry. I'm not upset because I'm a little disappointed, but I just watched my quarterback play like a top 5 quarterback in the NFL in this game and was in a shootout. And we were in a shootout, a legitimate shootout, because our offense is that good to be in a shootout on the road against a playoff team. And maybe the
not
one
just
seed.
a playoff team, perhaps one of the best. I've been riding the 49ers bandwagon for a good portion of this season and forecasting how impressed I've been with Shanahan, the job he's done
a great job.
How, when healthy, this is a very, very dangerous team. And apparently when not healthy as well, when they had Mac Jones in there and without George Kittle.
No Trent Williams after play 1. It was crazy.
So for the Bears to take them down to the wire, I mean, this is a team that is a Super Bowl contender in the San Francisco 49ers, I believe. And obviously with a Hall of Fame coach. So yeah, for the Bears to take it down to the wire once again and just come up just short, I think the resounding, thought by most fans was, "Wow, that was really impressive by Chicago," and I think that's fair. Now, if this were a game 4 years down the road that we're forecasting, then it'll be a tough loss and difficult to stomach.
Yeah, because you're hey, we're paying Caleb probably a lot of money and the defense is not great. And
you're established at that point. Hopefully you've got a couple playoff wins under your belt. This is different. But for as you've talked about for a good portion of time, ahead of schedule, this loss is about as good of a loss as you could ever have in that window.
I agree, because what this proved, right? So far, if you look at the Bears and you look at okay, this kind of, they're in the playoffs, right? They're the division winner. So this world of now that we're competing in, you beat the Eagles at Philadelphia. Okay. You beat the Packers in Chicago. And you just went toe to toe with the 49ers in their house. Those are things now within the last 2 months of the season, last month of the season. We're not talking about week 1 and 2 anymore. We're talking about like now, like November on, where we kind of know your football team. I believe my football team can go toe to toe and can play in a game with anyone in the NFC.
Right.
Now, I think you saw it. They needed that CJ Gardner-Johnson's second interception on Brock Purdy to win that game. They didn't get it because of the hands to face call, which it is the right call. It felt so ticky-tacky when you watch the replay, but it is the right call. But if they get that turnover, the Bears probably win that game, and they would have forced 2 turnovers. This is a defense that's not great play to play. They give up a ton of yards, but they get turnovers. And if this Bears defense can get 2 or more turnovers and your offense is playing like that, there's no reason why this Bears team, I feel like, can't be playing in an NFC title game. Really quick, I just want to mention Caleb was 4 for 4, 130 yards and 2 touchdowns, a 99.9 passer rating on throws over 20 yards. The deep ball is on fire. For the Bears, as you look ahead now to week 18, they have a ton to play for. And I love that Ben Johnson has already said, we're playing our guys. We want to win. We want to get the 2 seed. I think that is absolutely the right strategy. I've already heard from Dan Campbell that they are going to play. Anyone who's healthy is going to play for the Lions. I love that for them too. This is a Lions team that is trying to rebuild momentum into next year. A very good football team is in Chicago. And Dan,
well, you don't want to play the Rams in round 1,
it's not,
do you?
I don't even think it's that. I think it's more the 2 seed is just that. Again, there's so much value in saying to yourself,
more home field.
If you win in that first round of the playoffs, you guarantee get yourself a second home playoff game. And then if there is an upset on the other side of the bracket, you're hosting the NFC Championship game. Like, that is such a valuable thing, as opposed to going to Philly, going to San Francisco, going to, Seattle, whatever it might be. And so I think it's absolutely the play. I know that means you're going to go, if you get the 2 seed, you're going to play the Green Bay Packers. I'm all for that challenge. You're going to have to beat these teams again to get to win a Super Bowl, to make an NFC title game. I think the Bears Lions, there's a reason why Fox is sending their number 1 crew to that game, because I think they know it's going to be all the starters are playing. It's lined up perfectly for when the Eagles are playing too. Those 2 games will be playing at the same time. If the Eagles win, the Bears lose, they get the 2 seed. If the Bears win or the Eagles lose, then the Bears get the 2 seed. I think there'll be a slight amount of scoreboard watching, but I fully expect Philly to kick the crap out of the bad Commanders. So it's going to force the Bears to play to win this game. I love that. I love that they're going to go into the playoffs, hopefully with momentum after a divisional win against Detroit at home, locking up the 2 seed. I can't wait for it. I would have loved to be competing for the 1 seed this weekend, but my vibes are really high.
For sure, man. Absolutely. It's like it can't get too greedy at this stage, but Bears are playoff bound. It's pretty awesome, and they've been playing great. So
they took back the North, Dan. They took back the North.
As
Ryan Poles said.
On the flip side have put themselves in a great position for the 1 seed. That's huge for San Francisco. Home playoff advantage, a bye. The home advantage is obviously important regardless of team, but when you're on the West Coast, that's a little bit extra because now you don't have that crazy travel. You can now force some teams on the East Coast there to make that trip out west, and that can be a lot more taxing on a team. And so the 49ers set themselves up with, I believe, a win guarantees them the 1 seed.
Yes,
because they would beat Seattle. So
yes, that game is a win in the 1 seed. They're the only 2 available to get the 1 seed left.
And I would say that's one of 3 critical games, truly critical games,
Saturday night
in week 18, because that's the Saturday night game. Winner takes the West and the 1 seed. Seattle gets the 1 seed if they win 100%, right? That is guaranteed.
No, whoever wins the game gets the 1 seed. Seattle at San Francisco. And Dan, for San Francisco, they just played the Bears at home. Now they play the Seahawks at home. If they get the 1 seed, They're at home, including the Super Bowl being in San Francisco.
Right. Yeah,
This
very
is
true.
they have a chance to literally their path is completely laid out for them. So this game is ginormous, and for us to look at this game and try to think about who you like in it. Listen, the Seattle Seahawks have a 5-1 record this year when Darnold turns the ball over more than 2 times. Isn't that crazy? So
Yeah.
that defense
They're overcome a lot.
is good enough. They are overcoming. You can't just say, I don't trust Darnold, they're going to lose, because Seattle has shown that they can actually win when Darnold doesn't play well. I have no idea who I'm going to pick in this game. It's too early in the week. We're doing this on Tuesday night. Like, I don't know. My gut is leaning towards Seattle just because the best unit, I think that the best units in this game are going to be Seattle's defense and San Francisco's offense. San Francisco's offense is flying high right now. But Dan, the Niners defense is not good. And they are, again, watching that game against the Bears, I literally couldn't even name one Niners starter except for what's his name, the corner, and now I'm even forgetting his name, who's very, very good. Number 4, who they didn't even throw to the whole time.
Yeah.
But like they are a skeleton crew of guys you've never heard of before. And Seattle's offense, while it's not San Francisco's offense, it is a top 10 offense. And I think you're going to see a Seattle team. I'm leaning Seattle on the road to win that game. Personally, I as a Bears fan, I would rather go back to San Francisco to play an NFC title game than have to go to Seattle to play an NFC title game. It's kind of like the enemy you know versus the enemy you don't. I just saw my team almost win that game.
Yeah.
Seattle's defense, I want no part of Seattle's defense as a Bears fan. Like that they're a type of
but
defense
I would
that's gonna
just love
embarrass
that
you.
Bears defense, opportunistic defense against Sam
Darnold,
Darnold
that's Dan.
in a
Very
key
good point.
moment.
Very good point.
I think I would take the Bears odds more in that Seattle game versus 49ers, but hard to beat the same team twice, especially a non-divisional team. So we shall see. But yeah, all eyes on that Seattle 49ers matchup. The same day is another, I would say, critical game for
Well-
week 18, which is Panthers Bucks. So Panthers
what about
kind
the
of blew
Falcons?
this one away. And the Atlanta Falcons, obviously,
They've made this game less
those
critical.
scenarios are really funny and weird because the Panthers could lose to the Bucks and still win the
only if
division.
the Falcons then win against the Saints.
Yeah,
It's
Yep.
wild.
It's wild, and that's a home game for the Falcons. They certainly could win that game. They should. They're going to be favored
Against this, I mean, Shuck is playing really well. We don't have to preview that game much, but it'll be funny. Like it's worth noting the winner of this game is not guaranteed to be the winner unless it's the Panthers. Panthers win, they win the division.
Yeah.
If the Bucks win, they need the Saints to win that football game, which would be electric. I don't know when the Saints Falcons play. I think it's at like noon.
They play 1 o'clock.
Okay, so yeah.
Noon.
So there you go. Like that will end up being maybe the most consequential game of the noon slate.
For sure. Yeah. And
I like Carolina. I got to be honest.
The reason, just for people who are curious, because I certainly was, the reason that the Bucks wouldn't have the tiebreaker over the Panthers if the Falcons win is because they would have to go further down the list of tiebreaker scenarios.
Yes.
Because all 3 teams
8-9.
would have an 8-9 record, and technically the Falcons would have a better they would all have the same divisional record then.
Yeah.
And head-to-head would be tied between the Bucks and Panthers, and then it would go to conference matchups, and then it would eventually go to common opponents. So it's a whole weird thing, but the Bucks have the direct tiebreaker over the Panthers. However, if the Falcons beat the Saints, that introduces that murkiness.
It's wild. I like the Panthers, to be honest. I think the Panthers just win the game and they take it.
I do too. The Buccaneers have just been playing really poorly.
They're so poor. They're all out of whack, all out of sync. And listen, it's not like Carolina's been lighting the world on fire. But right now, I think it's odd to say, but I just kind of trust Carolina's defense more. I think they have the Rico Dowdle like run game that I can lean on. Tet, he's going for rookie of the year against Tyler Shuck. It's gonna be Tet versus Shuck. I think he plays, and if he does and he plays well, they'll win the game, and I think he'll actually maybe end up with the award. Interesting enough. But if I had to pick on this Tuesday night so far, of the consequential games, I'm going Seattle, and I'll take Carolina.
For sure. I will take Seattle as well. Actually, you know what? No, because it's the 49ers at home. I'm going to take the 49ers in this game.
Okay.
And I, too, will take the Panthers. Both, I think, very, very close games. But, yeah. And I also want the Panthers to win. I think it'd be like just a great story for how much shit Bryce Young has gotten early in his career and how much flack, Dave Canales and just the joke of the Panthers and David Tepper, all of this. It would be a very healthy moment for the organization in general to win this.
What I really want, though, is for the Bucs to win and then the Falcons to win.
Yes.
That's what I really want.
Just to make it a little more engaging. I hear you there.
Want.
Everything else is fairly straightforward as the NFC is concerned. The Eagles, with their narrow victory, locked up the division. And so I'm pretty sure, are locked into the 3 seed.
No, because if
they're not.
And if they win and the Bears lose, they will have a better record than Chicago, and they will get the 2
seed as well. So.
Which is why they're both playing in the 3:00 window Central Time, 4:00 Eastern, and why I really think I think it's been announced from the Eagles and from the Bears, like, we're playing our guys, like, we're going for it, because I think both organizations know just how valuable that is.
So the Rams, because of their brutal loss to the Falcons last night, they are now out of the running for the division. They're out of the running for the 1 seed. They, of course, have the playoffs locked up already. It'll be interesting to see.
I don't think they can get the 5. I think they're locked in.
They're locked in
6.
2.
Now, that may be wrong. There may be a weird world where if there's a tie or something, I don't know. But on the surface, it feels like I had that whole thing saved to about like, what's all the scenarios? I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe you can look it up here really quickly.
Well, I'm seeing the scenarios listed out on ESPN, but it's clinching scenarios and standings. They don't have the Rams listed here at all.
So that might mean they are locked in the 6.
Yeah.
I'll just say this. The Rams have lost 3 of 5. They are kind of limping in right now. If Stafford isn't playing at his listen, I think Stafford should be the MVP. And all of a sudden now it's like, Drake May. This loss and these things show you that, like, Stafford's schedule that he's played against, and if he is not playing perfect football, the Rams are losing games right now. And that just goes to show you that I think he really is the most valuable player. Like, I don't know what this Rams team is like if you insert, average quarterback here, right? Now, I don't know. I don't know what that means for New England, but I think New England's schedule is it's such a soft schedule. And you look at what they've done, and they murdered people, right? Like, they've taken advantage of the soft schedule. Like, good for them. I just don't. There's nothing about this season to me in watching all the goes. Drake May was the most valuable player. Like, I don't see that at all.
There's
so
too many other
I'm hopeful
components that people could point to as well. They can say it's Mike Vrabel. They could say it's the receiving core coming alive. Defense playing much.
I'm
better
hopeful
than expected.
I'm hopeful that apparently the Rams are starting all their players. They're playing. I'm hopeful that Stafford has a really good game. They end on a high note, and it's like, hey, we respect what he's accomplished this year. He's been phenomenal. That said, I will say they have some issues right now. They could not stop Bijan Robinson to save their lives. I don't know what's up with that defense. And you do not want to be playing like that at this point in time in the season. Stafford obviously wasn't perfect last night. He's tied Brett Favre for the most career pick sixes, which is just such a fun stat.
And then there was another pick six later, right? So so then he broke the record.
So he did break the record. And so I'm not panicking from the Rams, but I will say this, Dan. I was thinking about this as I was driving home and prepping for the show. If you ask me as a Chicago Bears fan, like, okay, like want to play versus don't want to play, number one team is Green Bay.
That you want to play?
Number two,
Okay.
yeah, in the
Yeah.
playoffs. Number two, I think Philadelphia, because again, I've seen what I've done to Philadelphia, that game plan. And Jalen Hurts in the second half again struggling. I think the Rams might all of a sudden be third on that list, and that's
Yeah.
well, okay. I eliminate the NFC South because I'm not playing. The Bears will not play the Bucks or the Panthers in the playoffs because they would have to meet in the NFC title game for that to happen. And there's no way the Bucks and the Panthers are meeting the Bears in the NFC title game. Like, that is a 0% chance. So eliminating them, I think it would go Packers, Eagles, Rams. And that feels crazy to say because I think 3 weeks ago I would have said, no, the Rams are the number one team in football. I want nothing to do with the Rams, and please someone bounce the Rams and I'll take my chances with anyone else. And so that's it. That just goes to show you this kind of last 3 games have just been, it's been a for Los Angeles.
Things can change really quickly in the NFL. That is for sure. Let's go ahead to the AFC.
Let's do it.
We've got 6 teams clinching a playoff berth already. That's the Broncos, Patriots, Jaguars, Texans, Bills, and Chargers. The only spot up for grabs is the 4 seed, and that is for the AFC North winner. So it's setting up for Steelers, Ravens, final game of the regular season to determine who goes to the playoffs. The Broncos have the best chance of the 1 seed. They just simply have to win, and they get the 1 seed. Meanwhile, you've got the New England Patriots lurking. You've got the Jacksonville Jaguars. Should the Broncos and Patriots both lose, the Jaguars all of a sudden get themselves into the 1 seed. A very impressive run for them. Those are the only 3 scenarios, though, for the 1 seed. 2 divisions have been decided. That's the West with the Broncos, the East with the Patriots. The Jacksonville Jaguars still haven't technically won the division. They've just guaranteed a playoff berth, so this game will mean something to them coming up. And then you've got the Texans, who are the only other team in that division that has a shot to win it. So that will be important there. Meanwhile, the Bills and Chargers are sitting at the 6 and 7 seed. I don't know if they could get a seed higher, the Chargers, if they win and the Bills lose.
The Chargers can get to the 5th seed with the win at Denver, even if the Bills win at home.
Okay.
I will say my dream scenario, I know this is crazy. My dream scenario is that the Chargers find a way to win at Denver. So they would get the 5th seed. And then the Bills win at home against the Jets. And that the Patriots lose at home to Miami. Miami pulls off a miracle. Because then you'd get Bills Patriots first round.
Yeah, that'd be very enticing.
And the Jags
very
winning,
exciting.
and the Jags winning would get the 1 seed. So I know it's kind of it's like you got to really, stretch some things here. But you say to yourself, listen, Chargers could beat the Broncos. I think they could. Dolphins beating the Patriots would be a giant stretch, but we've seen the Dolphins beat the Patriots before in Week 18 in heroic fashion. Now,
but
I know
it's the fact that it's at Gillette Stadium.
Quinn Ewers, it's a lot. But if that happens, that's my kind of dream scenario because I love the idea of the Jags getting the 1 seed. I just love that idea. And then I love the idea that you get a Denver versus Houston matchup in the first round. Houston is a 7 seed.
Yeah, it's a pretty.
Or no, wait. Houston would have to lose to that happen. Damn, Houston's not losing to Riley Leonard. Okay, never mind. It's just not possible. It's not possible. My dream scenario is not really possible.
Did they officially shut down Philip Rivers for the finale?
Yes, Riley Leonard is starting.
Is that because of injury or because
I think it's just because they're
saying this hasn't worked.
Well, I think it's just like let's not Phil, we really appreciate you, but like Riley's now healthy enough to go, and let's not get you killed here.
Right,
Right.
right.
You know what I mean? I think it's a little bit of that.
Yeah.
Um, and it's like, okay, you're playing the Texans, the best defensive football. It's
Right,
like,
yeah. And you're not playing for anything.
you're not playing for anything. And I think it's a little bit too like, let's just see what Riley has at all. You know what I mean? Not that the Colts need a quarterback. I mean, maybe they'll stay with Daniel Jones, whatever. So I think what's most likely to happen is that you get. Yeah, I'm going to say what's most likely to happen is I think the Chargers beat the Broncos. I'm going to take the Chargers this weekend.
Yep. So they jump up to the 5 seed then in that situation. You're
No,
saying?
because
Even if the
the
Texans win.
I have the Texans winning, the Chargers winning, and the Patriots winning. That means you would have New England as the 1 seed, and then you'd get Buffalo at Jags 7-2. Buffalo would be a 12-5 7 seed.
Yeah.
You have the Chargers 12-5 at Denver. So they play right again at Denver next week. I think that's awesome. And then you have the Texans at the Steelers or the Ravens. So let's talk Steelers Ravens.
Yeah, let's absolutely do it. So this was obviously
let's absolutely do it.
Forecasting to happen for about a month now, shaping up to be a week 18 winner take all game. And then the Steelers were gifted a great scenario the last 2 weeks, really. Come off of the best win of the year and one of Tomlin's best road victories in quite some time to one of Tomlin's worst losses in quite some time to the 3-win Browns. So because of that loss, because the Ravens beat the Packers, that has set up the situation now where the Steelers and Ravens are playing in Pittsburgh for the division. I certainly don't have any confidence in Pittsburgh to win this game. I don't think I will take them to win this game at this point. But obviously, as we know, it's pretty much a coin flip game going into it. Anything could happen. But if last year's playoff game was any indication, where they got run on for 300 yards, Derrick Henry's coming off of a monster performance this past week. He's on a moving train now. He's rolling.
Yeah.
Lamar is almost certainly going to be playing. And the Steelers don't have DK Metcalf or now Darnell Washington, who just got
sucked.
hurt.
I just saw that news. He's out for the season with a broken arm.
Yeah. So pretty bleak for Pittsburgh. I will say as well, the stat that's been talked about, I think it's pretty glaring. I'm curious your thoughts. So in the last 5 games that Pittsburgh has played an opponent that was 8 games or more below 500,
I saw this.
They've lost all 5 or tied. They're 0-4-1 in the last 5 games. And
so put that in perspective again. That's teams that would be like 0-8 teams because it's like 8 games below 500. So think about that. This is teams that are 2-10. This is teams that are 0-8, 1-9.
Which I've always taken objection with how that is phrased, because it's not truly 8 games below 500. 0-8 would actually be 4 games below 500, because then you'd be 4-4, and that's 500, right?
Yeah,
so, but yes, everyone understands the phrasing is 8 games. 8 fewer games in the win column than
the loss
the loss column.
And like,
so that's pretty considerable. Yeah, we're talking late season. These teams are verifiably terrible, right? Like,
because you've played at least 8 games. I saw that and I'm like, you've got to be shitting me. Like, Mike Tomlin, I think they said I'm part of my take. Truly, I think there should be, the NFL should come out and say, whoever loses Ravens Steelers, they have to fire their coach. Make it interesting. At this point in time, the Ravens and Steelers feel less interesting than ever before.
Right.
And maybe that's because the Ravens are coming off this weird year where right now it feels like they're better with Snoop Huntley than it does than where we have Lamar Jackson. And for Pittsburgh, it just feels like they are living in Groundhog Day. Like, I feel like it's Bill Murray Groundhog Day for Pittsburgh. Dan, The other stat that was like wild, the last quarterback not named Ben Roethlisberger to win at Cleveland was Tommy Maddox. Like, which is two things. Ben Roethlisberger dominated the Browns. Like
and
Tom
played for a
Brady's
very long time.
Tom Brady's a Hall of Famer, dominating the Jets and the Dolphins and the Bills. Ben Roethlisberger is a Hall of Famer, dominating the Cleveland Browns. Like, he owned the Cleveland Browns. It's kind of like that. Did you see the Mike Holmgren stat with the Green Bay Packers? Like, these incredible stats from during Mike Holmgren's 7 years as a Green Bay Packers head coach, where they won a Super Bowl. They lost less games at Lambeau Field than the Packers have in the last 2 seasons. Like, the Packers, like, oh, Lambeau Field's a home field. Like, that is a dead narrative. Like, it's a dead narrative, in the same sense of, like, these are just insane stats about, like, what Ben did to Cleveland. Dan, I'll ask you, the one thing I wanted to kind of hear from you in talking about this game is, would you rather face Lamar Jackson or Tyler Huntley in Week 18? Because we don't know who they're playing yet.
I think I would still rather play Tyler Huntley because
but the Steelers own Lamar.
They do, but they lost to him, it's not like they haven't lost to him. And I don't know. It's just one of those, he's an MVP talent. I just go with, I'd rather face the less overall talented player.
Valid.
And with TJ Watt should potentially be back for this game, in which case, they've got finally a fully healthy group of edge rushers. I would kind of maybe trust them to be able to get after Snoop more so than Lamar. But it's definitely closer than it should be. That question is definitely not the easiest to answer. But I just don't think there's enough juice left for Pittsburgh. But also, like, I was in a text thread with a couple buddies, and we were talking about, they said, oh, this is a classic Tomlin Steelers situation they put themselves in. And they were asking, like, oh, well, there's still a chance. And I was like, will it matter, though? Like, sure, we know that Pittsburgh can go and win this game, of course. Like, what will that actually change about anything? They get an opportunity to get in the dance. Obviously, I'm going to root for that. I want them to have a chance, especially now that the draft difference is only going to be a slot or two anyway. Yeah. So I'd rather take them to win for sure. But this is who they are, like, not the Lions, the Steelers have played the Lions. That's who they are. The Steelers who played the Browns, that's who they are. And that's the problem, is they are consistently inconsistent for years and years and years. And I think the biggest problem, not that I don't want to make this all about, like, looking ahead to the future, and my thoughts on Tomlin at this point are pretty well documented. But I kind of, like, it kind of clicked for me that I think that the one thing that I'm most frustrated about with Tomlin is that stat that we just talked about, the 0-4-1 against teams that are 8 games or more below 500. That is a stat that, when I say it to you, when anybody that knows football, you talk to them about it, they agree that that means something, right? That's not just a fluky stat, like, or what can you really draw from that? It means something. I actually believe, if you ask Tomlin, like, he truly doesn't think that means anything.
No,
because
he's Mr. Like, we won at practice this week.
That, and he's so tunnel visioned to the moment that he never looks at big picture. I mean, he's openly talked about it. Like, I don't draw, it's a different team, different situation from year to year. He always gets asked about trends, and he always like, I'm not sure that there's a trend. Everything's different, situations, blah, blah, blah. He he truly doesn't even think that a stat like that has any weight because it's on its own merit game to game. It's something that has worked for him. It's something that has helped keep players focused in the moment and to get up for those big games. But it's also a problem when evaluating what are the foundational issues here that are causing this team to constantly underperform. And it's the stages of grief, right? You can't get to acceptance before first passing denial.
Yeah.
And I think he's still in denial of that. There are no trends to see here from year to year. And that's the biggest issue. And that's why we got a performance. It was totally predictable, Mark. Like, that's why I wasn't riding too high from the Lions win, because it has become nauseating at this point, and it's like we never know what you're going to get.
And to lose it's a close game, 13-6, and Shedeur was fine. It wasn't.
You scored 6 points,
and I know, like, DK Metcalf being out is a problem, and then you lose Darnell Washington, but it's also like,
I think Aaron made a lot of bad. I blame the coaches, but I also blame Aaron for targeting MVS all 3 attempts in the red zone. Like, that's bonkers.
Where's Jonnu Smith, right?
Ward.
Like, Jonnu Smith was the big addition. You know what I mean? Besides DK Metcalf, like,
and Kenneth Gainwell has been a world beater out
healthy?
Of the backfield.
Like, what happened to Freiermuth? Like,
dude, that's all season. They will not use Freiermuth, and I think that's more of an Arthur Smith thing. For whatever reason, I think Jonnu's his guy. And they're not. Freiermuth's their second best pass catcher on the team, and they do not feature him. They don't.
Before this year, it was like Muth is your guy, and you get Muth. Like, I mean, it's just like.
No, I mean that's another Thomas. The personnel decisions are really, really bad routinely.
I will say this. I also want to bring up talk about Baltimore a little bit more. Did you see the report from a Ravens beat reporter last week or early this week or sometime over the last week, that the kind of rift between Lamar and Harbaugh and the Ravens is that Lamar is apparently kind of falling asleep in meetings. There's rumors that he is.
Oh wow, I didn't see this.
So it's a Ravens beat reporter. Now, the reason why I don't think it's gone mega national is because the Ravens fans and Ravens other media are kind of shitting on this Ravens reporter. Basically, this Ravens guy has had it out for the team for forever. He always shits on Lamar. He always shits on the Ravens. He's not.
Gotcha.
So take that with a grain of salt. Maybe that means he's the one telling the truth, or maybe that means he's the guy that it's like, dude, your sources are fucking lying. This is not true. Whatever it might be. But he is reporting that Lamar is
just not engaged,
playing video games till late and not engaged. And that, listen, there's something between the Ravens and Lamar, because the way Harbaugh consistently will have a press conference, I don't know what's wrong. I don't know what's wrong. I thought it was fine. And then the next day be like, guys, he's really injured. I had a chance to look at everything, blah, 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 blah. There's something there. It hasn't felt right for 2+ years now with Baltimore and Lamar before the contract. Then he played so well after the contract to kind of quell things, and now it's come back up again. I will say this: the loser of this game, I truly feel will have a very noisy offseason and a very, very, very brutal offseason.
Who between these two teams in your mind has more to lose here?
I think the Ravens have more to lose, because I think the combination of Harbaugh and Lamar we have seen, I think, is truly Super Bowl caliber. Multiple MVPs, 1 seed 2 years ago, 1 seed 3 or 4 years ago, whatever it was. This is a combination that, when they have the defense right, before Derrick Henry, before Zay Flowers, this is a combination that we've seen has worked and is really, really good. And I worry that if the Ravens lose, they'll either lose a coach that is still a really good coach that I really believe in, or their quarterback will demand a trade and they're going to lose one of the top 5 quarterbacks in the NFL. Like, I think that's how the offseason for the Ravens could go. If the Steelers lose, I actually think they gain. Like, in a weird way, I think the Steelers winning means Tomlin's back, and they may consider bringing Rodgers back depending on how that first round of the playoff goes if Rodgers wants to come back. I think the Steelers actually have a lot to gain from losing at home against your rival. If you lose in a bad fashion, it could maybe be the final thing that smacks the Rooneys across the face and goes, enough's enough. Like, we have got to take this whole thing, turn it upside down, and start fresh. You are a top 5 brand in the NFL with a top 5 fan base in the NFL, with a top 5 history in the NFL, in a place that everyone will tell you, like, we want to go there. This is not the dregs of the NFL. This is, and like, I think that while yes, that's a lot, and like that's a lot for a fan base to swallow, and you can speak on what I'm saying if you think I'm crazy or not. But I actually think that might be the best thing for Pittsburgh, as opposed, unless the other best thing for Pittsburgh would be they win and then they get DK Metcalf back and they win a home playoff game and they're competitive. Because then it's like, well, maybe Tomlin's got it if we can go get the right new younger quarterback to kind of, make that next step. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, I don't want Tomlin touching a young moldable quarterback. I truly don't want it because he is the most risk averse.
What about Malik Willis?
No, I don't. I don't want Tomlin to be in charge of developing a quarterback because his philosophy is not quarterback friendly and it's not conducive to today's NFL. I hope you're right in that scenario. I guess the reason that I don't think that they will gain from a loss is because I just don't have faith that the Rooneys will see it that way.
That's the worst possible scenario.
Yes.
They lose, and it's like, hey, we're bringing back Tomlin, and if Aaron wants to come back,
well, look, his contract is already through 2027 because they decide to extend him when he didn't do anything.
That's so wild. When you think about that now, you look back and
bonkers. It makes no sense.
It's wild.
The Rooneys are much more about tradition and loyalty than they are football guys. They don't have this angst, it seems, to, produce Super Bowls. Everything seems to be running as, smoothly from a business standpoint for them. And they'll say Tomlin went 9-8. He got him there, and then they'll point to, Darnell and DK, like, what's Tomlin supposed to do? Like, they'll point to excuses. The
crazy thing is, whoever wins the game will 99% chance be hosting against the Texans. The Texans are gonna win against the Colts and Riley Leonard at home, and they're gonna get the 5th seed. So what's crazy is, as great as the Texans defense is, their offense has struggled and is not in prime condition. I really think it's a very winnable game. It's not like, I don't think they'll be the favorites, but at home for Pittsburgh against the Texans with DK coming back, I think that's a winnable football game with Aaron Rodgers. I think it's a winnable football game for the Ravens at home against the Texans. The Ravens-Texans is a battle I feel like we've seen the last 3 years over and over again. Maybe not. Maybe it is. Maybe it is. I know they played at least once in a playoff game. CJ Stroud's rookie year, I think they played.
Yeah.
So I think I think it's a very winnable game for either team, which all of a sudden you're saying to yourself, in a win and get in scenario, I also could see one of the two teams we're talking about playing in the divisional round again. That would be maybe at home.
Mm-hmm.
It's a crazy thing to think about how different for these teams we could be talking for each one of them in 2 weeks. Dan, I will say this: which teams in the AFC do you power rank? We kind of power rank the NFC. Like I think Seattle and San Francisco are kind of the clear 1 and 2, and the rest it's a little murky depending on who's at home. I think Chicago deservedly kind of right there beneath Seattle and San Francisco. Maybe the Rams.
I think the
Eagles,
Rams
they're kind
are.
of
I still
tightly,
think the Rams are above
probably the third,
Philadelphia,
like the
and
NFC West.
so
Yeah.
I think that any grouping of those three, which the NFC West, it's the NFC West is
Yeah, it's the NFC West. I
the
think that's
class of
fair.
the NFC, and then I would put the Bears on par with the Eagles, probably as far as like a 4.
Yeah.
Maybe the Eagles
So
slightly ahead.
if you had to power rank the same in
Yeah.
the AFC, like 1, 2, 3, and then the kind of the next in the group.
This is probably controversial. I think Jacksonville's the best team in the AFC right now. Like I really do. I think they're the perfect combination of really good defense, opportunistic play, and an offense that can score 40 and crush you in a lot of different ways. To me, right now, Jacksonville's my number one team in the AFC. After that, I still don't believe in the Broncos very much. So there's maybe some bias in there. I don't know. It's just something that I can't get
So
over. So I would probably put New England at 2, Buffalo at 3,
over Denver,
and then Denver maybe at
Buffalo
4. Denver's defense
Buffalo
is
at
so
home.
crazy good.
I know. Buffalo at home just laid a freaking egg, dude. They just they're so tough.
They're a weird team to gauge it. And Josh Allen's the only reason for that, right? Like,
can I point something? So I brought this just to bring this stat up. You ready? Drake May, he's I think as of right now the betting favorite to win the MVP. 34 total touchdowns, 4,612 total yards, 12 wins. Okay. Trevor Lawrence, 1 more total touchdown, 500 less total yards, same 12 wins. But listen to this. Strength of schedule for New England, 0.308, 0.380.
Yep.
So less than a 400 winning percentage. The Jags, 0.505. So over 500 winning. So the Jags have played a significantly harder schedule. And Trevor Lawrence's numbers
are on par. Yeah.
Right there with Drake May.
Yeah.
Right there. I'm with you. I think this morning Jacksonville is the best team in the AFC. I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy to think about even 5 weeks ago when we were cussing out. Remember, I pulled up the Trevor Lawrence sets. It was dink and dunk Trevor Lawrence, but then they make the trade. Brian Thomas Jr. comes back healthy. Parker Washington arrives, and now all of a sudden they have a very good wide receiver core. ETN is exploding, and again, it just feels like they feel like the Chicago Bears in the sense that in the first year, the generational quarterback, it was a slow build, and now that it's rolling, it's like, holy crap! Like holy crap! I don't love either I don't love the Jags defense. I think it's better than the Bears defense. They at least have Josh Hines Allen, who or Allen Hines, whatever it is. Like they have at least have guys who I'm like, oh, that's a real playmaker to get after the passer. The Bears, I just don't think have that.
Right.
I would say I'm with you. I think I would put New England 2. And I do think as of this morning, I actually think I would go the Chargers as 3. And I know that's crazy, but I do think when push comes to shove, I think the Chargers beat Denver this weekend. I think they're going to go for it. I don't think Jim Harbaugh has it in him to not go for it. I think you're going to see the Chargers win a football game. I'm kind of high on the Chargers. Then I think it's Bills, Denver. Like it's a mush-mush. It's kind of like Bears, Eagles. It's just like it's too hard. These teams have flaws. They have huge flaws. So it's setting up for, to me, one of the most exciting playoffs I think we've had since the Cincinnati Rams Super Bowl. Like I think we're going to get another one of that where it's going to be like you're going to see 2 helmets in the Super Bowl graphic. You're like, who the fuck predicted this?
You're like, how did this
happen?
You know
what I mean? Like, how did this happen? Like, especially
hey, real quick, I did want to mention something about Drake May's performance.
Yeah.
So he went 19 of 21, 256 yards, 5 touchdowns. He also had 22 yards rushing.
He's a stud.
He recorded a 99.8 QBR, which I believe 100.0 is
Is
the
the top. That's why
the best you can
QBR.
get, and I don't even know if that's possible
Yeah.
to achieve because they bake in it's more than just
Yeah.
completion percentage and all of this
And
stuff.
QBR was basically invented because people thought it was dumb that you could have a 158.3 passer rating as like the highest thing. They were like, why
Right,
don't we just
right.
have 100 be the best thing?
Yeah. And so the QBR came out in '06. That's his 99.8 is the highest QBR game in the
At,
history
at
of that
home
metric.
against the Jets.
What's that? Yes, it was against the Jets, of course. But think about how many games have been played. Well, there's roughly
Yeah,
like
Tom
200
Brady games, Patrick Mahomes games,
20 years.
Peyton Manning, Denver Broncos games, and nothing's been better.
So that's over 3,000 games, 3,000 quarterback performances, and he is tied for first with 5 other performances. Lamar has 3 of them.
Oh,
Lamar has
98.
done that 3 times.
Holy shit.
Can
99.8.
you guess? So top 6, Lamar's in it 3 times.
Lamar
Drake
was
May is in number 1 because he's the most recent at 1.
So there's 2 other quarterbacks on the
There's
list?
2 other quarterbacks. There's one that there's no chance you will get.
Okay, for the one
But these both, one happened in '09 and one happened in 2013. So it's been a minute.
09. Is it a name that
It was
I'll know?
against your Chicago Bears, actually.
Is it a name I'll know?
Yes. Very well known quarterback. Not Hall of Famer, though.
Not Hall of Famer because they're not yet in it, or not Hall of Famer because they'll never be a Hall of Famer?
It won't get in. Won't get in.
09 won't get in.
Philip Rivers of his time, probably, but a little less.
Tony Romo.
No, it's a good guess, though. It's a good
My
guess.
thinking is, I'm trying to think.
AFC team, actually.
AFC team. Okay, wait a minute. Hold on. Wait.
Yeah.
09 AFC. This
guy
fun.
had a one great wide receiver that he played with. He ended up leaving this organization and going to have a
Carson Palmer.
Yep, that is correct. Yeah, Carson Palmer for the Cincinnati Bengals
with AJ Green.
And then number 4.
Wait, give me this.
This one's really I was kind of surprised.
What year?
This was 2013 against Jacksonville.
Not a Hall of Fame guy, obviously.
No. Not even sniffing Carson Palmer territory. Not a guy that you would say, "Oh my God, he was a terrible quarterback."
Well, I know the name.
This guy had a few years where he was like really, really good, but fell off after that.
Well, I know the name, obviously.
100% you'll know the name. Definitely will know the name.
It was against the Jags. Is it an AFC team or NFC team?
NFC team against Jacksonville. The score was 42-10.
Against Jacksonville. 2013 NFC team.
Yeah. And this quarterback actually played in the Super Bowl.
Colin Kaepernick.
Yes, good. That's great.
That gave it.
Yeah.
That gave it. Because I was like, wait.
It was good.
Played in a Super Bowl. Kaepernick, he had a run. And listen, part of that is, I think that's one of the things that you have to think about with that stat is running, I do think matters when you're talking about QBR. Like that's one of the things why they added in the running.
They factor in that the whole performance.
And that's why Lamar is on there a ton. And I do think that Lamar also has those games like Drake May's stat line was a very Lamar stat line. Like one incompletion. It's like 19 for 20, 5 touchdowns. Like that's a Lamar stat line where you're just like giant throw.
Yeah.
Listen, that is that's
fun.
That's really, really fun. We have a great week 18, Dan. I'm pumped for it. I know you are as well. And this time next week is going to be so much fun to think about those first round matchups.
To talk first round, wild card round. Really excited.
I
just wanted to recap who we have winning some of those key matchups. But finish your thought.
I just want, and I get this goes right with it. I just want to make it known again. I want to win against Detroit. I want the 2 seed. I want Green Bay. I think that is what the Bears, this Chicago Bears franchise and team and city and everything and fan base needs. And let the dice roll as they do. You're gonna have to play good teams in the playoffs. I want the 2 seed for the potential of the 2 seed, not because I think Green Bay is the easiest team. I just think it's like the 2 seed is really important in as far as your long-term success in the playoffs. And listen, I if I'm gonna go to the Super Bowl, if I'm gonna make a run here, I want to beat Green Bay on that run. Like that
sure.
to me feels like what I crave it. I crave it.
That would be harmonious.
And I know that means that I'm risking heartbreak by losing to Green Bay in the first round at home. I know, but I want that game. I want that game.
And I will say, if I did believe that the Rooneys would, in the face of a loss and a missed playoffs, hit the reset button and jumpstart this new era of Steelers, then I would hope for a loss here.
50-3 Ravens. 50-3. 50-3 Ravens.
I don't believe it's the case, and so I will hope for a Steelers victory. We didn't even talk about it. I predict the Ravens will win this game, however. Do you have a prediction on that? And I will say that I predict a Ravens victory regardless of quarterback.
I'm going to take the Steelers. It's a Mike like it's so like him losing to Cleveland.
It'd be typical. Yeah.
It's just like I'm going to take this. I think the Ravens, there's some real dysfunction going on in Baltimore right now. I think there's some issues.
You're right. You're right. We both have the Panthers beating the Bucs. That's obviously a marquee matchup.
We do.
I have the 49ers beating the Seahawks. You have the Seahawks.
I'll take the Seahawks. Yeah.
And then, what was the other matchup I was missing?
I guess the only other things would be like Denver.
We both think the Chargers will beat the Broncos. I agree.
I'll take the Chargers. And then there was one other. I guess no, because Texans, Colts that should
Texans,
be the
Colts, Jags, Titans. Like Jags are going to win, so it's really going to force.
Texans are going to win. I don't think there's anything else real consequential there.
Yeah.
Patriots should win. Patriots should win against Miami.
Yeah, they should. If they don't, then obviously things get interesting, and we may be talking about the 1 seed Jacksonville Jaguars. Potentially, that'd be wild. But this has been the Football Lounge with Mark and Dan, part of the 4 Frequency Sake Podcast Network. We appreciate you being with us here all season long. One more regular season week to go, and we'll be talking playoffs next week.